Hi there, everyone. Meteorologist Robert Speta here with you on today, the 28th, going into the 29th of August, 2013. The main topic today, of course, is severe tropical storm Kong-Rey, but also we are having some heavy rainfall across northeastern China into the Korean Peninsula and then eventually over towards Japan. And these two storm systems are going to be coming together over the weekend, and it does look like a big rainmaker across much of Japan and the southern portions of the Korean Peninsula. First, let's talk about Kong-Rey, where it is right now going to be going. Well, at least at this time, convection around the center of circulation of the storm has become much more apparent. That vertical wind shear blowing in from the northeast has let off slightly, but it still is quite displaced from the center. And what that means is we're going to be seeing the heaviest rainfall along the western periphery of the storm system. So along the eastern seaboards of Taiwan, we could be seeing up to about 200 to 250 millimeters of rain. Vice, if you are out here towards Ishigaki and Miyakojima, and especially Okinawa, 100 millimeters or less. Okinawa in itself, Okinawa Hanto, could be seeing just passing showers starting on Thursday evening. And this image actually coming from Taiwan here just shows the whole story. You have that precipitation wrapping around the storm system, but really on the western periphery. If you look off here towards the east, not so much there. And as this does continue to track here towards the north, in between Miyakojima and the east coast of Taiwan, it looks like the bulk of the precipitation is going to remain here towards the west. With that said, though, there are threat areas along the southern Japanese island. And already, actually around midnight on the 28th going into the 29th Japan Standard Time, typhoon warnings are in effect for the waters around the southern Japanese islands, just off the east coast of Taiwan, extending out there towards the East China Sea, anywhere here in purple, indicating waves could be up to about 8 to 9 meters high, plus wind sustained possibly around 65 knots, which would just be barely at typhoon strength. Remember, this is marine warnings for the waters around the area, but it also indicates those waves that are going to be coming ashore, especially along the southern periphery and west coast of these islands. As Kong-Rey continues to barrel off here towards the north, this is actually looking around noontime on Thursday. You can see these waves here actually up to about 7 to 8 meters high along Miyakojima. Just the northeastern portions of Taiwan are going to get hit by it. And then as it does continue to roll off there and starts to get absorbed with that front I was talking about a second ago, the waves are really going to be spread out across much of the region here in the East China Sea, especially along the southern and western periphery of the islands. But really a dangerous threat of rip currents and also, well, just rough surf. Before we dive into what's going to be happening to the storm system by Friday afternoon, let's talk about the official track. Now, remember, the center line on this storm is, well, after it makes landfall into Kyushu, really don't pay attention to it. You want to pay attention to just the general direction it's going. At this time, though, it is expected, at least according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, to start to gradually weaken after this point. On the other hand, the Japan Meteorological Agency still expects it to become a typhoon as we go into Thursday morning. My thoughts, I don't really see it happening. The storm's just too disorganized by the time it gets off here towards the north, unless we see it get into a rapid intensification phase, a quick burst over a few hours sometime around noontime on Thursday. I don't see this making a typhoon, but at least according to the official agency, that is expected to happen. This is just a 24-hour outlook. We can actually pull up the 72-hour outlook here, and it just shows it starts to move up there towards the north, and then it loops back towards the east, just like JTWC. So let's talk about what's going to be happening once it starts to loop back there towards the east. Because if you're in Kyushu, I know the center line actually took it over the Tokyo area according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center in their 5-day outlook. You might be thinking, wow, a typhoon's going to come up this far north. But what's happening is we have that very strong and potent cold front coming in and out of China, already bringing some severe thunderstorms with that flash flooding there. What's going to happen, though, is the tail end of that, it's going to pick up on Kong-Rey and start to shoot it right off there towards the north. Kong-Rey itself is going to lose all of its tropical characteristics, that tight center of circulation, those winds around the center, those warm core low that fuels these storm systems. It's going to become more extratropical. The upper level trough associated with this storm system will dive in from the north on Friday and the Saturday, as we see here. This is actually by Friday night. You see that troughing coming in. Well, this is just a killer of tropical systems. It picks it up and it's just going to suck it in like a vacuum, and it's going to shoot it really quickly off there towards the north. So widespread showers across much of Japan on Friday and the Saturday definitely is going to be expected out here. But in the wake of Kong-Rey, there's actually a few things that could possibly happen, though. That's going to shoot off there towards the north. And we see here on Friday and the Saturday, it quickly rushes off across the western seaboard of mainland Japan. And I think this is where you're going to be seeing the heaviest rainfalls. Western Kyushu, Western Honshu, Tokyo, some thunderstorm activity, rain showers on Saturday, going into Sunday, very well likely. But I saw earlier, GFS actually picked up a little spin there just north of Okinawa. And now NavGem's picking up on something right around Taiwan. And let's scroll ahead. You can see a little bit of a tight circulation spinning there. It all depends on what's left over from Kong-Rey once it shoots off there towards north. If there's enough energy there, this could happen going in the next week, and possibly hearing some heavy rain showers across Taiwan and the southern Japanese islands. First look on that, it really all depends on how Kong-Rey is going to interact with this troughing going through the next 24 to 48 hours. Also, by the way, there's two other areas out here. There's actually a tropical depression, believe it or not, right here. The low-level clouds, you can see it. Also, another one over here just towards the west of Kong-Rey. I am not mentioning these during the updates because I don't really deem them much of a threat. This one here around Vietnam could drift towards the west, bring some showers there. The one out here, we're actually dubbing it as Super Swirl. That is nothing technical. It's just a fun name we put together to talk about these storms, if you would call it a storm. It's just low-lying clouds that are swirling up. If there was more moisture in the area, it actually could intensify into something. We've seen that in the past with storms, but this one in particular, it's going to run into too much vertical wind shear as it drifts off here towards the north. But it is something to watch through the coming days, just because it's quite an interesting feature. That is all for right now, though, everybody. Thanks again for watching here at Western Pacific Weather. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can post them down in the comment box below. And as always, stay safe out there.